Hi everybody, welcome to Fierce and Pretty. I'm Honey, and today I thought for a change that I would want to talk about some deeper topics. You never know what you're gonna get when you pop into my channel. It might be something just no brains, easy breezy, or then it might get confusing. So let's see how it ends up being this time. But on this week I've seen now a few videos about shadow work, and it has got me thinking. The first that I watched was Whiskey Stevens' discussion with Joey Morris, and I had to take it in few sections, listen to it, and I started to process on my own thoughts after that. And then again yesterday while I was cleaning the house, I listened to Kelly and Maddox's discussion on the same topic with Joey Morris. I can link those videos down below if you from some reason haven't seen them yet. So, but I just kind of let's see if I'll be able to even publish this. I don't know if it's out there, then I did, but it's a topic that I've never given so much thought about when it comes to tarot, and let alone talked about it. But when it comes to my life and how I have been doing shadow work, because if you don't know, my tarot journey started only last fall, so I'm really new to this. So I haven't been working the deepest shadows or issues that I've had in my life through the cards. And currently I have been actually for the first time in my life in such a good place that I don't, even during these tougher times, I don't have any shadows that haunt me, and life has been super steady and I've been enjoying it. In my life, the issues I could consider myself lucky. I don't have any massive trauma, losses when it comes to people dying in my life, or nothing severely bad has ever happened to me. But I guess still we all carry our own baggages, and mine has been mainly coming through relationship issues. And now looking back with the life experience of 37 and plus year, so I can understand things better. But I kind of ended up getting some inherited baggage also. My parents never had a healthy, happy marriage, and it is a topic that we have discussed thoroughly in our family, and it's not a boogeyman in the closet, but the relationship, how that was, also stuck onto me, and I inherited kind of a lot of those trust issues, dealing with jealousy, and the earlier relationships that I have had. I have been dealing with the same topics there. The first time I ever felt kind of my death card moment was when I was, I guess, 17, and it was my first breakup ever. And the guy, he lived actually in this city where I now live. So my first boyfriend was from this city, and this is 1.5 hours away from where I used to live back then, but now I actually do live here. So that's kind of a funny circle going around. But so he called to me and broke up with me after 1.5 years or something. And I remember I was outside. I went outside to find my mom to go and tell her, and I fell to my knees from the pain that it struck me. I honestly thought that I would die to this heartache. It was so hard, and because I hadn't experienced anything like that before, I didn't know that people could survive from that. But now, when I have a teenage daughter, I don't want to forget that death card, 10 of Swords type of moment that I had back then, because I really wish to help her when the day comes to her that she experiences her first heartbreak. So it kind of felt like dying back then, but I survived, as we all do, and I was lucky to have my mom there to support me through that. But then the grown-up relationships that I've had, like in a real grown-up life, I have ended up choosing men or relationships that kind of repeated the same issues that I had experienced in my parents' marriage. And I thought at some point that I was faulty in some way, that had the jealousy and mistrust also become a part of me, and could I ever have a healthy, happy relationship after all these things that were also done to me. So I really took my time for healing, and I've always processed things a lot. I've never been a person that sweeps them under the rug, because I know that I have to face these issues, otherwise they will pop up. So I have been lucky to have 2 super close friends that have been willing to listen and talk these things through with me. It has taken sometimes few years to get it processed out, and not like constantly talking about it, but whenever it pops up, to go through it. And when I was watching these videos from these ladies earlier, I realized that I've done most of my shadow work in my dreams, and I've actually been quite annoyed about the fact that after some breakup, it might be 2-3 years after that specific relationship, that person comes into my dreams, and in the morning I've been annoyed. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't miss that person. I don't want to be there anymore. And what's this all about? And I've been angry at myself about these dreams. I'm like, what is it? Just out of nowhere it keeps popping. But now I've realized that actually I have just been doing the shadow work in my dreams and processing these things, and it's actually been good. So the best insight that I got from this experience now is that I don't have to get annoyed to my dreams anymore, and let them be, and accept them as a part of me, my brain, my subconscious processing these issues. Because for the first time in my life now, I've been in this relationship now over 2 years, and since day one I've had this deep trust in this man, and I haven't had a single jealous or negative thought. And I see that I have healed those things. It took me, I don't know, 20 years to get through all that bullshit. But in the end, it is dealt, at least to that point, where I can live in a relationship and feel super good about everything, about me and about my man and everything. And also have that trust from him. So there's no jealousy from his side to me either. So it has been beautiful. So currently I haven't had so many issues that I have wanted to process and work now, since I've gotten into my tarot cards more. But I'm also happy to have that option now, on top of the dreams that I've just naturally been using as a processing mechanism, and talking with my friends, and actually facing whatever it has been, whenever it has been. But now I do have these cards, and most definitely something will pop up eventually that I do have to process. And I've been thinking about the decks that speak to me mostly, that I would want to work on personal issues. And the absolute number one that I will use for shadow work is the Fountain Tarot. There is just something so personal in this deck to me. I can't read with it for other people, but I think that the best readings I get out of it are the personal readings. So this will definitely be one of those workhorses to help me get through the shit in the future. Then also the Pagan Otherworlds, I feel, is a deck that I use for readings for myself when I have specific topics. I've been using this, for example, in full moon readings or things like that. So this deck certainly would work for me to process shadow work also. And then the final deck, Darkness of the Light by Tony DeMauro. This is also a deck that speaks more shadowy to me. But overall, even though I haven't known what shadow work is, and I haven't been involved with tarot or this, I'm super happy to realize that I have been working through my issues and giving myself time and space, and eventually heal. And it's not only because of me and myself and my own life that I'm happy that I have actually taken the time and done the work to go through the shit and heal myself to be able to live more happy and fulfilling life. But now I'm also in a place where I can provide a home, a house to my daughter, where the relationship between the grown-ups is healthy and loving, and I don't want to pass on the trauma of my mom and my trauma onto her. I want to do everything in my power to try to help her grow with healthy self-esteem and trust in herself and her ability that she is good enough, and hoping to be able to help her to avoid these bad relationships if there is anything that I can do on that part. But I definitely don't want her growing in a household and seeing a jealous behavior or these unhealthy relationship patterns just on a loop, and to feel that is somehow normal. I want her to have a different experience on what a marriage should look like and should feel like. So that's my main goal, to help her also. I guess each and every one of us faces different shadows in our lives, different issues, and different things happen to people. But to each and every one, our own troubles are always, when we are in the middle of them, they feel the biggest. Even though I never forgotten of being grateful of the things that have been good, but your own shit is always the stinkiest, if you know what I mean. So you just I think it's also a valid point that you don't always have to think about the world hunger or the wars or people now dying in corona. You are also allowed to recognize the sorrows and shadows that are meaningful in your daily life and go through them without being self-centered or without being a victim. That was one of the most confusing words that I heard in these videos earlier, about people complaining that if you talk about shadow work, that you would be in an active victim mindset, or how was it said? Because it's not being a victim, it's being brave. It's about facing the facts, even no matter how painful, and eventually growing through it. And it takes a lot of time. That, at least for me, it has been a lifelong journey. And I guess now, since I've also gained this new understanding on myself, I've always analyzed myself, even though I haven't used astrology or tarot so much. But because of my educational background and everything, I have been very into these things. But also, I had my birth chart done for me by an amazing astrologer, Saturnarium. I can link her website and also her YouTube site here if you want to have amazing reading on your star chart, birth chart, I mean. But even in there, even a person who doesn't know me could see these issues, that and also the point that why these relationship issues have been my shadows that have followed me. I am a deep emotional Scorpio, but there's a whole lot more to that also, which I understood when she did my birth chart. So it was amazing experience also. And that's the thing that I love so much about all this woo-woo spiritual shit that I'm now diving deeper in, and what is still new to me. I haven't been doing this years and years like most of you have, but I'm learning and I'm understanding, and I also get feelings that I have done things quite well intuitively in my life, and I've been on this path, and now I guess it was the right time for me to find all this and go deeper and create this beautiful new hobby to me that is also really helpful. I'm in an age as a person, and I have life experience when I can also use that and add all that on top of this, all this book knowledge and everything that I am really eagerly studying about the tarot decks right now. So what I personally feel, what's the point for this shadow work for me, is to face whatever is coming, whatever is rising from inside me, and to deal with it, no matter what method I will end up using. It's just the fact that eventually I would be okay with that, and it wouldn't control my life anymore. You might never forget things, but at least you end up being totally okay that those things happened, and you find some meaning also possibly behind them. Eventually just you grow and move on. And how I feel about now is that I'm quite sure that there will be challenges in my life. There will be even tougher issues that I might end up facing, and I'm actually super happy that in the future I do have these great tools that I can also use to reflect myself. I can have a conversation with the cards also, and I don't always need a friend to do that. And here in Finland, I guess going to therapy isn't as popular yet as it is in the world, which is a shame. People actually don't even get to have therapy sessions, even if they needed one. So that's not so common, and I think tarot can be a quite effective home therapy. And also, if you have friends in your circle that use tarot, doing a reading with a friend also with some shadow, if it's something that you are willing to talk about and share, I think those are great ways of processing and finding new angles and new ideas. So I don't know, I feel kind of empty right now. I don't know, I'll have to take this video back to the computer and edit and see if anything makes sense. Trying to speak and speak in English on top of that, it isn't always the easiest for me to express myself in this foreign language. So harder to find the perfect words to describe things. But let's see. I know that everybody is not willing to share private issues, and that's not what I'm asking, but I would love to hear comments about what do you feel about shadow work. If you want to leave them down below, and if any content creator is watching this and you think about if you have anything to add to this discussion that you'd be willing to share, I would love to see your videos also on this topic. If you have good ideas about spreads or practical things that could help in shadow work, or just if you want to reflect on how you have been doing it, or your thoughts. So it would be super interesting to see other videos. And for me, making this video is now quite easy because I'm in a good place with all this. But watching these videos about the shadow work that I mentioned earlier, they really got me thinking. So I love that when you watch a video or listen to a great podcast that makes you think and understand even the tiniest bit in your own life. So hopefully I will be able to edit something reasonable out of this, and I would love to hear what you have to say on this topic. Thanks for watching, and until next time, let's see whatever comes then. Bye.